All right, guys. It says that I am live. If you are watching, then you probably know there's a 100% chance of technical difficulties throughout this live stream, but hopefully, God willing, we'll be able to get through without too many issues. I'm excited tonight. I've got on Ben Carlos, another sports card YouTuber, I would say like the wizard of video editing / thumbnails / all of that stuff. I'm going to go ahead and bring him out.
Jeez, man, that's very flattering. Thank you. It's very humbling, but it's great to be here. You're taking my interview virginity, so this is exciting.
I feel like when I'm making videos compared to then I watch your videos and I feel like I'm on like the typewriter, like and you're on like the Mac, like I'm sending telegrams and faxes over here, like I've got a long way to go in that department, but we'll get there. We'll get there one brick at a time.
Exactly. One video at a time. As long as you're always try to be better than your last video. That's my mentality.
That's right. That's right. Cool. Well, yeah, thanks very much for coming on. So I haven't met you yet actually in person. I've been kind of, pinging with you and DMing with you and stuff. So it's really good to meet you in person. I want to go ahead and kind of do the obligatory kind of, let's talk about how you got into both YouTube and sports cards. Let's talk about YouTube first, because
sure.
I've watched your recent sports card videos, but then I've also watched previous podcasts like Ben with Friends, I think is what it was. I've watched some of that too. So what happened where you were like, all right, I'm moving into, because you were already into sports cards. That wasn't a thing. You've been into sports cards for a while. Mm-hmm. But what made you say like, all right, I'm moving into the sports card YouTube space?
That's a great question, honestly. Well, first off, thanks for having me. But I guess, well, to preface it, I've always wanted to get into YouTube ever since I was a kid, and I've tried multiple times, tried to do lots of videos, many of which I've deleted and will never be seen again. They're off the face of the earth. So if any of you guys try digging, like, you're not going to find anything. So don't even try.
Like on the black web or the dark web or whatever.
maybe. Yeah. But last year, I guess I decided to go really full force with it. And it started with me, instead of telling my stories, I wanted to tell other people's stories. So that's what led to Friends with Ben in terms of interviewing everyone. And then eventually I got to the point where it's like, okay, it's hard to grow a podcast from the ground up. I need to supplement it with other types of content. So I started making other types of videos. I was, again, other videos that I've since unlisted or have deleted. But then I was like, oh, I like sports cards, and I see that sports card content is a thing on YouTube. So I was like, okay, let me throw my hat into the ring. Let's see if this sticks. And yeah, it's still very much in the beginning and the early process, but it's been a wild ride so far.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And I really like your stuff. You already have the reputation of the guy that makes the best produced videos. I mean, anyone that I'm not kidding. Like, I was talking to Brad, the comeback card investor.
Shout out to Brad.
Yeah, he's great. And but yeah, he was saying like Ben's stuff is like movie, it's like Hollywood quality. Like, it's like, and I was like, I know, man, I gotta get like better friends with Ben. Like I gotta get on that train. Like.
Thank you. That's very flattering. I always do my best to try to put out the best possible content that I can. Like I said, wanting to get into YouTube and in that space has been something I've wanted to do as a kid. So this is very much people are like, oh, you just started and like, it's happening really quickly for you. I'm like, no, this is the product of me pretty much grinding for the last 10 years. And this is just, I guess, the early fruits of my labor, so to speak.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, if you watch enough YouTube content, you kind of do enough research on the YouTube side, you start to figure out there are some things that work better than other things to kind of drill home. I mean, nobody can really know if it's going to hit the algorithm right or whatever, but you can kind of do things in a certain way to give yourself a better chance for sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of different things with YouTube that this could be obviously a whole other podcast, but everything down to like your thumbnail, how you title your video, what tags to use. Like with me, I'm very, very meticulous in every little one of those things, and that's it's super key. It's super key.
Yeah, that's something that I wish I could. Well, it's not that I can't. I don't think I have the patience. It's kind of like I'm trying to get it out so quickly. I'm excited to like get it out, and then I don't take the time. And that's probably where I miss a little bit is the details. I do, I'll throw in like a Tecmo Bowl clip or something. But actually, I showed my wife one because I was like, this is the guy I'm going on with tonight, and I showed her one of your recent ones. And just like there's so many breaks in the action with like, so many different like things to keep your attention, like there's so many things to where you're like, you just can't click off of it because there's so many things happening. And she was like, yeah, this is good stuff. So anyway, told me to pick it up, and then she went to bed. Do better. And then she went to bed.
well, thank you to Personal Finance Mom for that. So very, very nice of you.
That's right. Yeah. Now, spinning off of that, I'm curious, kind of where do you see, and you don't have to have like all the answers here, but
for sure,
are there other topics kind of in this world that you want to touch on your channel, or are you kind of just taking it as it comes? You're going to like kind of just stick with sports cards, or are there other things you kind of want to like blend in over time? Have you thought about that piece?
Yeah, great question. So I've made this very clear to my subscribers, and I always try to make it very, very clear to anyone who watches my videos that I am not strictly a sports card channel. I am a content creator who just so happens to like to make content about sports cards. With that said, though, sports card content is what built me the audience and very, loyal audience that I have so far. So, I'm going to do what I can to produce that kind of content. However, there will come a time, I know for a fact, that I may potentially stop making sports card content altogether. But like what I tell them, that's not going to be happening anytime soon. So, we're going to have some fun with this. We're going to make the best possible content that we can until that day comes. Like you said, taking it one day, one video at a time. So
good stuff. Cool. All right. All right, let's seg over into sports cards. So how did you get started into sports cards? Is this something that's new to you, over the last couple of years, or is it kind of like a childhood thing that's it's come back for you, or how did that all begin, and how has it evolved?
Yeah, so as a kid, I actually have the binder right here. Funny enough, this wasn't planned, by the way. As a kid, I collected sports cards. I always went with my cousin to like a local card shop and got rip packs, and did all that stuff. I didn't really know what the heck I was doing at the time. It was just like, okay, put them in collect them, put them in binders. Like I got some really weird stuff in here. Like the front page straight up is, going back to our conversations about like UNC Tar Heels. The front page is a Sean May rookie card. Like that's just how, that's how weird this is. But at the same time, it was like, I have this is just random weird stuff in my bind. This has always been the first page, like, second year or third year NBA hoops, Kevin Garnett, and then like second year hoops, Allen Iverson, like all this really funky stuff. Yeah. And it was just for me at the time, I was just collecting for the fun of it. I love basketball. And I was like, and then I love basketball cards, and just cards in general, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, all that stuff. And then, like most kids, when you start to grow up, that kind of like takes a backseat to other things. So then I stopped. And then early last year is when I got back into it from a man we're all familiar with, Luka Doncic. Oh, yeah. Luka was someone I was always a fan of, like when he was in Europe. And I thought it was interesting. I was like, I wonder what his rookie cards are like. And I remember seeing them on like on eBay and stuff selling for, at the time, like $100 or so for a PSA 10, which I was like, not knowing anything about the card market, I was like, wow, that's a lot for a piece of cardboard. Yeah. And fast forward a couple of months and I see this card is shot up to like $400, $500. I'm like, is this happening? And then to preface that, I remember watching a Gary Vaynerchuk video where he basically was saying, oh, sports cards is, I'm pretty sure everyone knows the video I'm talking about. It's like, oh, sports cards is the future, blah, 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 of investing or whatever. And I was like, okay, made a mental note of that. And then eventually, I pulled the trigger. I bought after lots of research, watching content creators such as yourself being like, okay, how do I get into this? And then I bought a $500 Luka Doncic PSA 10 Prism. And that has spiraled into a whirlwind of a journey in this hobby that I never would have thought would lead me here. So
that's awesome. You actually might have bought one from me at that price, because I bought 4 of them, and it was the same sort of deal. I thought that they were expensive at like $75 for, and I remember thinking like, it's just a base rookie card. Like, it seems like a lot for just like a base Prism rookie card. It's so blah. Like, maybe I should get a silver or something. That was back when a silver was actually like fairly affordable. I mean, like the silver then was probably like $400 or $500, where the base was like 75. And I was like, hell. So I picked up a few of them, and then I sold when they started to go up. I was like, yeah, like $400. That's when I sold off, like, I had 4 and I sold them.
Man.
And I did the same thing with Pat Mahomes. With Pat Mahomes, I had like Prism. I had probably had 5 of those Prism rookie cards. I never had a 10, but I had 2 of the 9s. I bought 2 9s for $142, like August of 2019. It just shows you, like, it wasn't that long ago where those things were just not that much. Like, there was like $142 for 2 of them, August 2019, and now they're like $2,000 or something.
Man.
It's so unbelievable. But what can you do? What can you do?
It's really crazy to see where the prices have gone, and like to even fathom picking up 2 Patrick Mahomes Prism rookies PSA graded for that much. Or not that much, that little, like, boggles my mind.
It's wild. Yeah, it's wild. Now I don't want to sell anything, but like I need to sell to buy more because I don't have infinite resources. But because of those experiences, now I'm just like sitting on stuff. I'm like, I don't want to sell too early. It's probably a mistake, but whatever. All right, let's say hi to a few people.
Yeah, for sure.
Here,
scroll up here.
I'm gonna go to the top.
Yep.
Michael Ham, what's going on? Base card collector. Mike? Ed Lang, appreciate you being here, buddy.
How you doing, Ed?
Corbin Ballack.
Corbin Kobe.
Michael with the Gun Show Ben comment.
I mean, I try.
Ben's bringing heat. Oh, let me also say too, Ben, he didn't put like his full. So his YouTube channel is Ben Carlos. That's the YouTube channel. So if you haven't been to Ben's channel, go check it out. There's some awesome stuff there. Ben Carlos, search for it. It's awesome.
See, this is how foreign I am to this whole like streaming thing, where I was like, oh yeah, that probably would have been smart to put my full name. So it's like, who's this random Ben Bozo? But
that's okay. No, I'll call it out throughout so that so people can find you. If you haven't been to his channel yet, definitely go to Ben Carlos. Joe Gallagher, what's up, party people?
What's up?
JJ Bama, we can get the party started now.
Oh, it ain't a party till JJ shows up.
Adventures with Troy. Oh, the Will Smith cards. We'll get into that. I want to talk about some tags. Stormbringer, good to see you, buddy. Super bad.
What's up, guys?
My boy Dex Flow, the boat interviewing Mr. 2 first names.
Never trust a man with 2 first names. Unfortunately, I have 3, but whatever. Oh, that's another thing.
Zavi Smith, Ben, my favorite card YouTuber. What's up, dude?
Geez. Thank you, man.
Charles has all the sweet Marvel stuff.
Dude, I forget. It was in the comments of Sports Card Live where he was like, yo, I have a 2013 Fleer Spider-Man PMG Red. I messaged him immediately. I was like, yo, man, you selling that thing?
Yeah.
But, I know for a fact that card is like a $10,000 card. So I'm like, you know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna pass on that.
Yeah, Charles, feel free to throw your IG into the chat so people can check those out. They are really cool. And I haven't seen them outside of his IG account. Like, I haven't been on eBay and been like, oh, there's Spider-Man PMGs.
They're so rare. Like, I swear they're more rare. I don't know what the exact pull rates are, but I'm pretty sure they're rarer than like the actual Fleer PMGs, which like blows my mind. But
Randy Kendrick, what's up, bud? Donald Schaefer, and I think that we're at the end. Okay, cool.
Cool.
All right. All right. Let's talk about kind of where you are currently in your sports card buying, selling, and you don't necessarily have to say like exactly what you're looking for because you're actually looking for it. But are there certain things that you're kind of collecting or investing in right now that are, a focus for you, or are you just kind of selling, or where are you at currently with stuff?
So I try so hard not to buy as little as possible. I mean, it's different now, but like when I first got into the game, I was like buying to sell so much, like left and right. But now I'm in the stage now where I'm just like, I'm trying my best not to buy, especially with how prices are. I'm just trying to be very strategic with the things that I buy, because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to make my money off of sports cards. I'm trying to make my money off of creating content. Sports cards is just one of those like fun little things. It's like when you're not necessarily day trading, but it's like, you buy a little bit of one stock and then it's like, okay, that's fun. Let's see it go up a bit. Oh, cool. That's cool. It's not how you make your money, right? So
yeah, it's kind of a side gig, side hustle type thing.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's also fun. So yeah, no, I got you. Are you, what's kind of your big, like, are you mostly basketball, or, I know that we were talking about some baseball a little bit before the show.
Yeah.
Or are you into football? Like, what's your main thrust? Like, what's your main focus when you're buying?
Well, in case you guys haven't noticed, I like hockey. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, yeah. Basketball is, yeah, I try. Yeah, basketball always been my favorite sport, always will be. That's the bulk of my collection. I do have, a little bit of baseball, a little bit of football, and one or two hockey like that. But for the most part, I'm all basketball. Mainly it's because it goes to that adage of, not only buying what you like, but buying what you know as well, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you a thing about like what hockey or baseball stats currently are, like who's the hottest stars. I mean, like, the general gist, like, the Acuñas, the Sotos, the Bellingers, like all that, Trout, obviously. But in terms of like basketball, that's like biblical for me. Ask me anything about basketball, I could probably give you an answer.
Okay, cool. Now, are you playing mostly in the modern, ultra modern stuff, or do you also go after vintage stuff too?
So, to anyone listening out here, what I'm saying right now is, well, if I'm buying anything right now, I'm buying modern up right now because their dip, and to the people who have like, this is like a secret too, sorry for exposing it, but the fact that all the attention is on the vintage, it's on the GOATs and the legends. Yeah. All modern is down across the board. And it's like, if you remember from the bubble, how high like Luka prices were, how high all these guys were, it's basically an arbitrage opportunity where it's like, okay, we know the ceilings of these guys in terms of prices, and with the hobby only growing and getting bigger, like those ceilings could be like broken. So I mean, I think modern is the play right now, personally.
I agree. I mean, I haven't bought a lot of modern, but kind of like you though, I've been really carefully buying, and I've been getting into other stuff. We were talking about starting lineups. I'll talk about starting lineups later. Some people are going to think I'm going off, like way off the rails, but I'll explain.
No, it's all about it. It's like what we were saying. It's like go turn left when everyone's going right.
I almost made my largest card purchase a couple of weeks ago, and for people that watch my channel, that Jamal Murray is kind of like my prospect that I've been going in on.
Canada, let's go. Because
he's kind of like, look, he's on like a good young team. Like I think the Nuggets are going to be there in the playoffs, and he played so good in the bubble. Like I thought, like he started off a little like meh, like this season. He's kind of like 17, 18 points a game. He's okay, but he's not like blowing it out of the water. But Jamal, so I almost bought. The most I've ever spent on one card is $650, and it's another Jamal Murray card. It was a select white prism. Was it a 10 or a BGS 9.5? I think it's a quad BGS 9.5.
Nice.
If I remember right. I should know that, being that it was my most expensive card, but it's numbered out of 149. It's got some scarcity to it. But I almost snagged a select courtside silver in a PSA 10. So like I've been seeing them like, the buy it nows are like $2,000, $3,000. Well, there was an auction on one that was sitting at like $700 with a few hours left. So I was like, oh my God, like I'm gonna like scoop this thing.
Yeah.
And I put my high bid at 920 and I lost it at 946.
Oh, right there. Those are the ones that sting. Yeah.
But and it's kind of like and I know that he's not Luka, but the Luka card of that is a $20,000 card. Like the Luka Doncic select, because they're so damn rare.
Yeah.
That card is a rare card. So I'm thinking like, all right, I get the Jamal Murray for $1,000. I know he's not going to be Luka, but maybe it goes to $2,000. Maybe maybe it goes to $3,000. It's a big. It could potentially be a big card. So I didn't get it. Unfortunately, I do have a 9 of that. I found a 9 at like $475. So it was a good deal on the 9. But if you look at the pops on that stuff, like Jamal Murray stuff, there's just no one cares about Jamal Murray.
Unless you're Canadian or a Nuggets fan. Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. Cause no one, but that's where I'm trying to get ahead. Like if there's a guy, like if it ever swings to Jamal Murray's the man, Jamal Murray's an MVP candidate, I'm locked and loaded. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, this may just be my Canadian bias showing, but I'm super high on Jamal Murray.
He's so underrated, I think.
He is. My only problem is that Bubble Murray, I think that's what a lot of people expected going into the season. There's like, that his performance in the bubble would carry over into the season. This would he would become like a 25, 26 point per game scorer. I think that's why a lot of people were disappointed by that, because obviously, he's an 18, 19 per game scorer. The problem is that Bubble Murray is like that is like Bubble Murray is essentially Michael Jordan tier. Let's be real here. I mean, it's just the problem is that it was unreasonable to think that was sustainable just because of all the factors with the bubble and everything going on. But I do think Jamal showed that he has the ability to go off on any given night. And I think right now with how the Nuggets are set up, I think it's just one of those things where he's just kind of keeping it reserved. But kind of like, now I'm not comparing the two, but like kind of like Kawhi, or even like LeBron in terms of like, they kind of just coast during the season. And then once playoffs start, all right, that's where they ramp it up, which is kind of weird because, he's still so young. So there's no reason why he should be doing that. But I feel like that's what's happening right now. So,
he kind of reminds me too of like Donovan Mitchell, where like Donovan Mitchell, like is playing great. Like the Jazz are arguably the best team in the West outside of the Lakers. And his cards are just kind of sitting there from what I've seen. I haven't seen his cards really spike. Now, I'm not following Donovan Mitchell stuff, that much, but it's not like there's a huge shift, and the Jazz look really good. So I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason, but this could be one of those moments where, kind of like what you said, like moderns, we're in a little modern dip.
Yeah.
If you're getting in on it, getting ahead of it, you could be in good shape.
For sure. And I feel like too, what was I saying? In terms of modern, especially Jamal Murray's from the 2016 draft class, right? And I've noticed that for whatever reason, in 2017, that's when the Panini print runs started going up a bit, like significantly. And then once you hit 2018, 2019, 2020 with like, Luka and Zion, that's when it just went crazy. Because I remember I was looking at the pop reports for like a PSA 10 Jamal Murray just base prism, and it's only like 100, 200, low hundreds. And you compare that to say, a Tatum, a Luka, a Zion with the pops in the thousands. It's like there's something off there.
Yeah, I think that these guys just brought it up too, Alex, in the chat. AD could be a good buy soon. I think that, and I know if you're a Lakers fan, you're not going to like this, but I feel like right now the Lakers, the way I'm seeing it is like the Lakers are just like waiting to win another championship. Like that's kind of like, you're just like, this is just going to end the same way the last season did. But with this AD injury, it kind of throws a kink in that plan. He's out for 3, maybe 4 weeks. He's out with this, and it's Achilles. Like Achilles, that's not a good injury for a big.
That's not a good injury at all. Yeah,
for a basketball player, period. But then when he like AD, he's a big guy. He's got a lot of stuff offensively and defensively that he's responsible for. I mean, I'm really curious to see kind of how LeBron can handle the next month, just trying to like get them to where they need to be. Now, granted, they could be the 8th seed and still just get AD back in the playoffs and make a run, you know, but I just don't see them really rushing him back. You know, they're probably just going to like put him on the shelf, let him get all healthy for the playoffs, and then let it rip.
Yeah, it'll be a very pivotal coming few weeks to see how serious this Achilles injury is for AD, because we all saw what a LeBron only Lakers team was like, and it was not pretty, even though, you know, this Lakers team this year has a lot more depth than the pre-AD LeBron Lakers. But if AD misses any playoff time whatsoever, or if for whatever reason, you know, they just rule him out for the season, the West is wide open, and it's not, because I think the current Lakers team right now with a healthy LeBron, healthy AD, I think they're the clear-cut favorites by a long shot. So
yeah, agreed. I want to say hey to Jeremy if he's still on listening.
Jeremy.
Sportcards Live. So Jeremy, I don't know how this guy did it, but he landed Patrick Bet David on his show the other night. If you haven't seen Sportscards Live, go back to Saturday night's episode. It was really cool.
It was a great one.
Yeah, and man, he was dropping just all sorts of knowledge bombs. If I don't know, I'm showing my age now. But he was dropping all sorts of fire. But no, I mean, that dude is just on the, you know, he's on the cusp of everything. It was cool to watch. So yeah, definitely check out Sports Cards Live, another really, really good YouTube channel. Jeremy, my buddy, runs that one, and he has some really wicked interviews on there.
Arguably the best podcast in the game right now. Jeremy, if you're listening to this, I have no doubt that you're going to pull Gary V on the show. And
he's still here.
He's still here.
Yeah.
He's still here. There we go.
I did shoot my shot at Gary V on Twitter a couple of days ago. I've been on Gary V's morning.
I was going to say, I mean, you already have somewhat of a relationship with him. So it's like, you know, he's the next one up on here. Who knows?
He didn't respond to me, but we were going, I think it was NFTs or something. We were, you know, going back and forth about it, soccer NFTs or something. And I did throw something out there. He hasn't responded yet, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, it's cool to see those guys. There's so many kind of, you know, celebrities or whatever, media personalities that are talking about cards now. Mm-hmm. It's awesome.
We really are in a golden age when it comes to like not just sports cards, but trading cards in general, because of all of the media press that it's getting. Like all these different celebrities are coming into the, like, I don't know if you saw this, but Snoop Dogg literally traded a $30,000 car for a Kobe rookie. I was like,
I did see that. Yeah, it was DJ Ski, I think, was with him.
Yeah.
Is that his name?
Yeah. It is crazy how we're definitely in a golden age of sports cards and trading cards.
I know. You really feel like a small fish when Snoop is like, "Oh, I kind of like that Kobe card," and he's like, "What is it worth?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, like 30 grand." He's like, "You want that Cutlass for it?" And he's like, "All right." It's like, man, I'm sitting here just trying to get like a hobby box, you know, like
right. and he's just out here like, hey, here, take my car, and just like it's nothing. Which if the guy who took the car, I'm sorry, you lost that deal by a mile, because everyone knows, you know, once you buy a car, the moment it leaves the lot, it already goes down like $1,000, $2,000. And the Kobe's, you know, is only going to go up. Like, hopefully, we'll see where this market goes. But
yeah, unless you're going to market it like this is Snoop Dogg's car, I guess. Yeah, exactly. He's got like the video proof of it. You know, he's got like, here's me, and we did this trade, and this was Snoop Dogg's car, and you know, he could play that game, I guess.
Yeah.
But I hear you though. Yeah, I don't think I would be trading, cards for classic cars. No. What is this? I was just looking at this. Car is nothing to Snoop. Yeah, you're right. I mean, Snoop's probably got 10 of those cars. So yeah, I hear you. What is this? I saw a comment about HGA grading. So there was, I don't know. Have you seen those, Ben? They're like, you know, they're color coded with the card type thing. It's a new grading service it offers. I guess they do like AI for the centering piece.
Yeah. I've actually been doing a lot of looking into HGA the past couple of weeks. Me personally, I have. So at first I was like, okay, this is interesting. The fact that they're using an AI to kind of to grade the cards, that's very much revolutionary, right? However, the problem is with the way PSA has such a strong hold on the market right now, where it's like, yeah, okay, you can you know, you can grade with HGA, but it's like it won't have the same value as a PSA or a BGS. And to be honest, I don't know if that will ever happen, because if you look at all the other companies like, you know, SGC, GMA, sorry, I just threw up in my all these other grading card companies, they've been in the game a long amount of time, and they still haven't been able to touch PSA. Now, obviously, you know, HGA has like, you know, the really nice slabs going for it, the AI technology, but I think for them, and again, I'm not, you know, personal finance or business consultant by any means, but I think the play for them might be just to license this AI technology over to PSA. And I feel like, because I feel like PSA, they definitely, you know, they have a lot of work to do, but, you know, with Nat Turner buying them, you know, buying ownership, did he buy it, or I don't know what the whole deal is like?
I think it was approved. Yeah, I mean, they went back and basically had to renegotiate. The majority of the shareholders wanted a better deal, essentially, and they did up the offer. And I believe I read that was finalized.
Ah, okay. So yeah, when you have a guy like Nat Turner, who is a known like legitimate collector, and I feel like he would make the play to kind of, you know, if HGA has the AI technology, you know, I think PSA, it's kind of forces them to just like, yo, come with the times. We have to step our games up, because there's a lot of people who are unhappy with PSA and BGS in terms of like, you know, their turnaround times, quality control in terms of grading their cards. So all it takes is a little competition, you know.
Yeah, the one thing that they're doing, I guess, too, is, and I could see them having kind of a novelty factor, kind of a, you know, a cult following, in part because one thing that they're doing is like they're limiting per week how many cards they take. So basically, it's like
a really smart play, I find.
Yeah, like 10-day turnaround means 10 days, 30 days means 30 days. So I guess for the people that yeah, maybe they're not necessarily trying to flip, but they just want their card to be encased, and they want to, you know, they want a grade, and I assume they're probably putting HGA above like a GMA or above a PGI or one of these other companies, you know, and then just maybe PCing it, you know, or whatever. But yeah, that's a really, it'll be interesting to kind of see how that plays out, you know, because I think right now PSA's it's an advantage being the king of the market, but also a disadvantage because the long wait times, people are just like, I just don't want to, I don't want to wait a year to get these cards back. HGA will have these back to me in 30 days or whatever. You know, so they can maybe carve out a little niche. They've got some time until PSA gets caught up. And I think that Nat Turner had mentioned that he did mention technology advancements. I don't know about the actual grading piece, but certainly on the operation side and kind of the, you know, speeding up submissions and stuff like that. So like you submit, it doesn't take like 3 weeks for them to log it in their system. Like that's the stuff that they're going to fix, I assume, fairly quickly. With them, you know, coming in, but we'll see. Do you own any GMA cards? Base Card Collector is looking for thoughts on GMA. I don't own any at this point. I've heard of people that buy them to cross them, you know, like, I don't know if, you know, if people have had success doing that, but
I mean, oh man, it's so tough. And I feel like that's another potential arbitrage opportunity, you know, buying slabs of like the lesser, because obviously, you know, PSA is number 1, BGS is number 2, but the price discrepancy on like some BGS and even like SGC cards between like some PSA cards, it's so absurd that like you're paying for the same card. It's just in a different holder. One just has the PSA branding on it, and it goes to show just how much of a stronghold they have on the hobby. That, you know, I feel like I would need to do more research in terms of the other grading companies to see how accurate and how accurate their actual grading process is. As far as I know, you know, SGC is the one in particular. SGC and BGS are the ones where it's like, if you're going to crack anything to cross over it to PSA, those would be the two that just like, okay, you'll probably get an accurate so for example, if you crack like an SGC 9 or a BGS 9, there's a good chance you may get a PSA 9. But then this opens up this whole other discussion of like, I don't know how confirmed this is, how like apparently PSA is less harsh on centering, but is more harsh on edges and corners, whereas BGS is more harsh on centering and less harsh on corners and edges. Again, I can't confirm or verify this, but from people I talk to in the hobby, this seems to be like the universal understanding. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm with you. I think there's a lot of, well, you have people grading the card, so it's like it's on any given day, you know, it's like, who knows? I'm gonna stop right here to plug your channel. We have 113 people watching.
Oh, really?
That's crazy. So I'm with Ben Carlos, and that is the name of his YouTube channel. He has the most wicked production of any sports card YouTuber that's out there. So check it out. Man. You can literally watch the stuff like over and over and over. Oh. So go check out Ben Carlos's channel. If you are new to it, I know we have a lot of crossover as well, but definitely check out Ben's channel if you have not. Still on 80s Basketball Card Show on Saturday. I'll be hunting for those. What's up, Ben?
What's up, Darren?
So I bought honestly, I've been buying 80s basketball for the last couple of years, but where I'm really focused is kind of 86 Fleer stickers have really they've gone up a lot, but 87 has as well. 88 Fleer stickers are still kind of in my price point. So that's where I'm probably ruining opportunities for me to go and buy more of those if other people are buying them too. But yeah, but good. And I say that just because on eBay, there's not a lot of them, you know, and there's not a lot of great prices. So where you do see them, they're like asking for a lot more than comps. But I like, you know, the 88 Fleer stickers of Jordan. I've even bought the like PSA 5s of that card, which people are like, why would you buy a 5? But on a modern card, you would not. But on a card from 1988, you know, Jordan only has so many 80s basketball cards, you know, and that's why I might even buy a 3. You know, I mean, when Michael Jordan rookie card PSA 1s are selling for $5,000, you have to kind of think about like down the line, collectors are trying to find more stuff. So eventually they're going to get to those PSA 5s, 88 Fleer stickers, you know, and that's where I am. You know, I can't afford the big stuff. So that's where I land. So yeah, I am still buying that stuff here and there, but I'm also, well, you know what? I'm just going to dive right into it, Ben. Sorry, I'm going to hijack the show and talk about starting lineups for a second. This is where the whole audience leaves. We're at 119 people. This is where it chops down to 4.
Exactly.
Guys, I have been going in on 1988. I would say like 88 to 92 starting lineup in the box. So I'm kind of spoiler alert on my video, not tomorrow, but in a couple of days, I'm doing kind of a mail day video.
Nice.
And part of that is a nostalgia thing for me. So that's like stuff that I was 7 in 1988. So I used to collect all that stuff, you know, so I used to go, and I also have like 88 Ninja Turtles figures still in the box. I got a few of those because same thing. It's like the nostalgia thing, but then also they're pretty valuable and they're kind of like a cool thing to, you know, over time. Ninja Turtles is one of those big multi-generational brands. Like my kids know what Ninja Turtles are, you know, like, and their kids will probably know what it is too. So, you know, yeah, starting lineups. I've been going in on starting lineups. Billy Works. No, not starting lineups. Like I said, we're losing people. I won't stay on this forever, but yeah. And actually, Craig, you hit it right here. I got a couple of these. McFarlane LeBron 2003. There's a white jersey and a red jersey. I think I got one of each. I haven't bought 30 of them or anything like that. But and then yeah, Ben's got do you want to show it, Ben?
Right here.
So the big Vince Carter fan, and that looks like the same thing. That looks like 2003 or 2004 or something. I mean, that looks like
the McFarlane series one. Yeah.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, Todd McFarlane he's a huge comic book guy. He wrote Spawn, the Image comic, but he was also a big Spider-Man artist as well. And he's the one that he moved into these action figures. And he did these first LeBron, first Vince Carter. So they're very well done.
Yeah, and we were talking about it earlier. How you know, these are figures that are essentially, you know, $20 you can pick up like nothing. But if you think of it like a penny stock, you know, it's super low risk. It's like, yeah, buy it. And like, you don't know where it'll go. especially what we were talking about earlier about how the Kobe McFarlane figures and like just Kobe stuff in general has just gone to the moon, you know. But
here we go.
Starting lineups.
Grumpy. I haven't seen Grumpy Card Guy in a while, and I knew the second I brought up starting lineups, he was coming.
He was gonna chime in. Yeah,
he was coming in. He was coming. That's okay. Hey, that's okay. I brought it upon myself. I'm putting myself out there. So I deserve what I get. No, but and Flippin' Steve up here, he mentioned something about the Merino. Steve, I actually got a Merino one yesterday from 1988 in the box. I'm excited about that. No, you can't have it.
Funny chat.
But yeah, no, it is kind of, and Ben, you actually brought it. It's a good point. Everything is all about the GOATs. It's all like MJ, Kobe, LeBron. And so I think that's kind of where the thought process goes is what are the other collectibles that are kind of important for those guys going back. Starting lineups would be an example. And I don't know. I mean, you mentioned, there was Lego guys and there was other, it's like, what are the other, collectibles associated with those guys? And that's where a lot of focus is going because let's face it, I don't have 40 G's for a Topps Chrome LeBron rookie right at this second. I don't. And I feel like I might've missed the boat on that card.
I think a lot of us did.
Yeah, I don't have it. Dusty the 80s Marino, you can send me. That was my guy. Yeah, Marino's, he's a super popular dude.
Mm-hmm.
I know everybody wants the cards. That's what I think is funny too. I've had people say like, hey, the cards are worth more than the figure. And I'm going to just play kind of devil's advocate there. I'm going to keep it in the box because here's what I'm going to make the bet that people are going to be like, oh man, I ripped it open for that card when I should have just kept it in the box. It would have been worth so much more. That's kind of I'm hedging against that.
And the thing is
go ahead.
I was gonna say, and the thing is that the more people who do that and rip open the box, the less the less the supply becomes of the original. So it's like it's the same with like why people who like the finest refractors, with the coating. The moment they take off the coating, that the population of those finest refractors with the coating, it gets smaller and smaller. It's like with it's like when it's like why people buy and hoard wax.
No, absolutely. All right, let's seg over to the Will Smith cards, and then so is that kind of a one-off thing, or do you have other types of stuff like that, or do you want to save that for future videos and not want to maybe talk about it?
I'll say this right now. So I have my PSA submission ready. I'm going to send it off to my guy. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is going to be like a little exclusive. When these cards come back, this will be the single weirdest PSA submission that you will ever see in your life. Because the cards that I sent off are like, what is this guy thinking? I guarantee you PSA will be going through these cards that I'm grading. They're going to be like, who the hell is grading these and why? Like, oh boy.
So are you saying that because it's a bunch of Will Smith stuff, or is it kind of a mix of, or a mix? Like they're like, why did someone send 100 Will Smith cards? No, but did you already pick did you pick a bunch of other a bunch of things like that? Is that what you mean? Like there's kind of a collection of that sort of stuff?
Yeah. So this will be hard. This will be kind of hard to believe, but the Will Smith cards in that submission aren't the weirdest thing in that submission. If anything, the Will Smith cards that'll be a future video, maybe in a month or so, but the Will Smith cards are far from the weirdest thing in that PSA sub.
This is so funny. I definitely had this VHS set when I was a kid. The rainbow of the Jordan Come Fly With Me factory sealed VHS. Hey, I mean, yeah, tape decks, cassettes, and VHS, that might actually become a thing. Who knows? That was actually a really good series, that Come Fly With Me.
Yeah.
All the Jordan highlight stuff is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what else do we have?
Fresh
Pimp of Bad Hair, Grumpy Card Guy. Jazzy Jeff cards, that's a zag. I respect that, though. That's actually a really good zag. I like that.
That's a great zag. I love that.
Saved by the Bell, Back to the Future. Yeah, you're kind of hitting all those kind of things. It's like, if someone's got childhood memories of it, why not?
Well, it's why everything across the board now, like non-sport trading cards, everything's up. Like, I mean, this is a whole nother debate of is wrestling a sport? But wrestling cards are up. We were talking about Marvel cards are up. People are all. I feel like people are on that pulse now of like, okay, can I be the first one to zag over to here? Because if this sticks, I'll have I'll have gotten in early. But I feel like because with everything going up across the board, it's hard to find those opportunities to be like, oh, this might go up.
Yeah. I did. So for the Marvel cards, I did buy a few weeks back, like right when people were starting to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, but that was like I was like thinking they printed the heck out of those things.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was like, you know what though? That set is so awesome. I went and bought a full set, just like one base set. I don't have any of the holograms. But I just wanted to get a set of it before the pricing went ballistic and I wouldn't be able to get it. So I did buy one complete set just to hold on to, just to collect, not to grade or any of that.
I'm in the same boat as you. They're all in here.
All right. So are you looking to grade or is that just collecting stuff?
So here's the thing. Here's my thing with the Marvel cards. And I may be making a video on this in the future. I don't know yet. But I feel like the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months will be very telling for where the future of Marvel cards will go. Because like you said, the print runs on these were absolutely absurd. And you can already see it on eBay because eBay is being flooded with like raw copies of this. Now, the thing is everyone's sending off their Marvel cards to PSA to grade. The question is when they all start coming back, how many are going to gem 10? How many are going to 9? Because that will be what's telling into how, I guess, how good of an investment, so to speak, these are. Because if a lot of them are gem 10ing, oh gosh, we're going to be in for a lot of supply and the demand's just going to be go down. But if they're going to be a really hard to grade, then the 9s and the 10s are going to see nice value. But in terms of these, I'm sending off in my PSA sub. I'm sending off the key ones. So I'm sending off the Spider-Mans, the Black Panther, the Stan Lee. The ones that I know for a fact are going to be the key cards, so to speak. Yeah,
no, that makes sense. I'm with you too. It's fascinating to watch it because it's like we just don't know what that supply is going to look like, and will the demand stay? So you're looking at like that supply demand curve. Because I was thinking like, man, it'd be cool to have a PSA 10 Venom, or something like that. But I'm not going to drop $1,000 on it. I'd rather wait a year and then just see like where it's at. Like if there's maybe there's 500 of them at that point, and maybe I can get it for less. But
yeah, I'm being very cautious with the Marvel cards just because, well, they're approaching prices of they're approaching Pokemon prices. And Pokemon is the largest grossing media franchise of all time. And I looked, and the Marvel Cinematic Universe is around 8th. So it's getting to a point where do we generally think that they're going to get to Pokemon level? If they are, is that really a realistic realistic thing to see, just because of like the discrepancy in terms of how large Pokemon is as a brand? I mean, don't get me wrong, Marvel's huge, but you always have to compare it to these other things and use that to gauge whether or not how much you want to invest in it, so to speak.
Yeah. How many Happy Meals did you buy today?
I don't know. Like, I don't know if this Pokemon Happy Meal, I don't know if it's happening in Canada. I mean, I haven't had McDonald's okay, that's a lie. I had McDonald's last night, but
yeah.
I don't know. Is this a thing only in the States, or is it happening in Canada?
I don't know. I think, the one thing that I think is interesting with the Pokemon stuff is obviously they're going to print like a zillion of these like Pokemon cards that go into the Happy Meals, but it's the third party grading that changes the game on it. Cause it'll just be, because it'll be like, who's got the PSA 10 Pokemons out of the Happy Meals? It's like, we're going to be having the same conversation, of that, like, and is there demand for those? It's wild.
Well, and that's why I'm saying right now, and I hope no one beats me to this, but the moment I get my 2021 Topps Now Bernie Sanders, I'm super expressing that to PSA just so I can be the first one with a PSA copy of that. Because I know for a fact if that becomes the first one, I can have fun with it. I can list it on eBay for like $1,000 and be like, all right, bring it on. Even though obviously I don't expect to throw up a Bernie Sanders PSA 10 and get $1,000 for it.
Well, I mean, I think I saw that, like, was it Dr. Fauci's card was like the most popular card or something weird?
Yeah, I think the most pre-ordered Tops Now card like ever.
Yeah, it's like, what's the world coming to? I actually kind of agree with JJ Bama here. I have not had a McRib in a minute.
Oh,
I haven't had a
it
McRib
was
in a while.
incredible.
Yeah, those things, I don't know if it's like, kangaroo meat or what's on that thing. I have no idea what the meat is on it, but it is tremendous.
Have you ever had the double down from KFC?
No.
Oh my gosh. So the KFC double down, it was basically a heart attack waiting to happen because they took two giant pieces of like fried chicken like patties or whatever. Those were the buns, and in the middle was bacon.
That sounds tremendous.
It was incredible. I guess since we're on the top, I'm sorry if like food is hijacking this conversation, but like the moment you get me talking about food, I'm gonna go nuts. But have you ever had the McGangbang?
No.
Oh gosh. Okay, so I don't know if this is a Canadian thing or I don't know if it's an actual thing, but that's when you take a McDouble and you take a junior chicken and you take the junior chicken and you put it in between the McDouble.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It was great. That was like my go-to meal, like in high school and college, whenever I needed a quick little bite.
That is awesome. Yeah, that's one thing that McDonald's does. Depending on what country you're in, they cater to whatever is
popular in that country.
Yeah. And this guy's saying too, JJ Bam was saying there's a lobster value meal in Maine when I was there in the 90s. That's really, really funny.
That's so good.
Yeah. Iguana meat. Could very well be iguana.
Iguana meat, yeah, maybe. Well
those were not A cuts or whatever, the grade A or grade B or whatever. Yeah. Not great.
I love how the chat has become all about food now. This is hilarious.
Yeah. Hey, we're still holding steady at 110 viewers. I'm gonna jump in on. So Ben forgot to put he just put Ben and his name, but not his full channel name. Ben Carlos is his YouTube channel.
Thanks,
and he's got some really, really good sports card stuff on there. So check it out.
Thank you.
All right, let's move over to I'm drawing a blank on the topics that we had put out. What is your favorite card right now in your collection, whether it be like investment? I know I'm kind of like throwing this at you because we didn't really this. It could be a short-term like flip thing, or it could be like, I'm just going to hold this PC thing, for a while. What's your favorite?
So in terms of so I actually have two
starting lineup.
No more starting lineup. Yeah. I have two recent big PC buys that are the most I've ever spent on a card coming in, but I'll save that for a future video. But the current, I guess, out of the ones I have on me right now, I guess, so to speak, favorite cards I have two right here. And one is a National Treasures Kyle Lowry patch.
Oh, nice.
From our championship season. And the other is the same patch, but of Kawhi.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So I guess really the reason why these are my favorite is because I don't know if we've talked about this before, but before the pandemic, I was working for the Raptors and I was a part of their game operations team. So we're the ones responsible for getting the crowd pumped up and, hyping up the team or hyping up the arena, throwing giveaways, doing all that fun stuff.
So that's where all your energy comes from.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And yeah, that championship season, I got to work. I, got to be on court for a lot of the playoff games. I got to, see, I was in the arena, like courtside when the Kawhi shot happened. Like it was one of the greatest, that run was one of the greatest moments of my life. And obviously, I wanted to have like some sort of like cards to commemorate that run. So I picked up these two, like right here. So these are ones that hopefully one day, if I get the chance to either meet Kawhi or Kyle, I can have them turn into auto patches. But that's down the line.
I mean, it's going to be hard to top that season, like that Raptors season. That's probably it's obviously the best season ever for that franchise,
Yeah.
but I just don't see how you're going to top that, man. That was just because it was so awesome. Like just the way they kind of made their way through the playoffs, to the, I don't know, just like you said, the shot, and then they beat the Warriors, which is like, it feels like David versus Goliath, when you're looking at, even though the Raptors were a really good team.
Yeah.
But it's, you just think like they're not going to beat the Warriors, and I know the Warriors had some injuries and stuff that played into it too, but that was really, really awesome. I was happy for the Raptors.
And all the haters are always like, "Oh, you only won because Katie and Clay got injured," and I'm just like, it's a quote to my favorite artist, Kanye West. Hey, I guess we'll never know.
Yep.
So
you never know. That's how sports goes. Johnny Unitas rookie is underrated and second year. I like that card. I don't own one of those yet. I put a video out this morning about vintage football. Because like people, I don't know what it is about football cards, but people just are not into it the same way they are with baseball and basketball with a lot of the vintage stuff.
It's super weird because I feel like, well, I'm just throwing out numbers here, but I feel like 90% of the sports card market is in the US.
Yeah.
And because of that, I feel like football cards would be, because I feel like football is arguably the most popular sport in the US. Obviously basketball is coming up. And for whatever reason, the card prices don't seem to necessarily reflect that. And maybe that's just, and it's weird how, in my opinion, MLB and like baseball is the worst sport when it comes to promotion and branding, because like they don't know how to market their athletes. The NBA can teach a masterclass on how to market and brand their athletes. Look at, I was looking at Mike Trout's Instagram earlier, and he has 1.8 million followers, which is like, which I'm pretty sure someone like, Lonzo Ball has more than that, just because of like his like brand like name and everything like that. But the fact of the matter is, Mike Trout is arguably the greatest baseball player of his generation. Yet if you ask an average person to point him out on the street, if they wouldn't be like, "Oh, who? Like, I don't know who that is." It's like, "Oh, that's Mike Trout." It's like, "Oh, cool." Yet you can't say the same if like the average person saw a basketball a relative NBA player. They'd be like, "Oh yeah, I know who that is." I mean, obviously they're going to be like 6 feet, 7 feet tall, which is a big thing, but.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it is weird too. But then when you look at like soccer cards, I know that soccer cards got a bump, but man, those guys have massive social media. If you look at Messi and Ronaldo and those guys, they have, even lesser known players have huge social media accounts. And it's obviously they have the fans, but they just don't, like soccer cards just kind of lag behind. And even stickers, like I know Europeans buy stickers, but it's not in the same level that like Americans buy cards.
Yeah. So here's my theory when it comes to soccer. Yes, they have in terms of worldwide appeal, soccer is the most popular sport in the world by far. Just like, as you were saying, Ronaldo and Messi's like Instagram followers, it's just their reach is huge. The problem is that sports cards and like collecting trading cards as a whole is more so a North American thing, while Europeans more so lean towards stickers. So I feel like Panini, in order to really capitalize on this growing market, especially on growing it in Europe, I feel like they have to do a better job at like pushing cards in Europe, because right now, like you said, stickers is the main thing. And sorry to kind of expose your stickers play, but I feel like, buying up stickers is a really good play, because if Europeans are going to be getting into this, the first thing that they're going to go to is stickers, because that's what they're familiar with. So instead of trying to get like, a Michael Jordan card of some sort, they may lean towards the sticker. And because of how huge, Europe is, and how, in terms of like all this international appeal of all these different countries, that's why, like what we were saying, I feel like stickers is a very, very viable long-term play.
Yeah, it's really, really interesting. And it's so, I guess part of the fun is like the market, while it is cyclical and some of it is predictable, there's a lot that's not predictable at all. Like it's kind of like the stock market. It's like you know that a company is great and the earnings report looks good, but that doesn't mean the stock is going to perform. Like there's so many other variables to it, which does make it fun. All right, guys, we are coming up to the 1 hour mark. Thanks for sticking with us. We have 113 people that are watching. Ben Carlos is my guest. Check out his channel if you're just joining in. He has got an awesome YouTube channel. Grumpy Card Guy is back again. Soccer, yeah, okay. Let's collect cards of guys who play games. You're just mean. You're mean.
I mean, you could say the same about baseball or hockey.
Babe Ruth and Ty Cobb are predictable. It's hard to argue that. But that stuff is not cheap, Mike. That stuff is like
no.
That stuff is serious business.
I have
to mortgage the house to get a hold of
that's big money. That's big money cards right there.
Will anyone produce Olympic cards for the 2020-21 games? Yeah, that's kind of an interesting. Going back to starting lineups, guys, 1992 Dream Team. I've thought about buying. They've got like the case.
Yeah,
I think they printed I think they made like a zillion of those, but still, it's pretty cool. Oh, it was cheap. That's point. Yeah. No, I got you. All right, guys, let us know if you have any other questions for Ben. We're probably going to drop off here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, no worries. This was fun.
Throw out any questions that you do have for Ben, because we are going to wrap up here soon. How does I know you had said that you didn't have any videos last week. You had some things going on family-wise. When are we going to see that next Ben Carlos video drop? Do you have it planned up yet, or are you still working on it?
Oh man, so basically, I wasn't expecting to ask this question, but because the first interview, so to speak, you guys will get the big scoop. I'm looking to drop a video on Wednesday, and this potentially may be the biggest video I ever drop.
I love it.
I'm hyping this up a lot, but once you guys see it, this will very much. Let's just say you'll want to tune in on. Hopefully, I get it out by Wednesday. I'm still editing it right now, but yeah, that's the plan. And this is it's a big one. It's a very, very, very big one.
All right. Well, there it is. I'll be tuned in on Wednesday. I'll be locked in, ready to go at work. I have it on the background. I'll be watching. All right. Tom Brady Bucks base cards worth getting graded. Yeah, I don't. It's kind of like the LeBron base cards question, like the 15-year, but you know what? A lot of people collect those. So, and Tom Brady he's the GOAT. So, I mean, I think there will be a collector base of Bucks fans that will always want those cards. It's just a matter of like, how much are they paying? And, I think that'll probably be kind of the question there.
Yeah. Cause everyone saw how, the LeBron Prism Lakers went. So,
Grumpy Card Guy, I am going to next video, it's going to be all about my vintage typewriters I have in my fax machines.
Your typewriters, yeah.
If there was grading for typewriters and old modems and VHSs and all that stuff, I'd be in good shape.
Vintage sewing machines and whatnot.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Ben, thank you very much for coming on, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you.
And
it was an honor
watching your stuff. And we'll have you back on again soon. So
for sure.
For watching. Ben Carlos, again, is the channel. Go check it out. All right, Ben, stay tuned. I'll be back in a second.